This is the Spanish Football Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Alex Kirkland. I'm here with Sid Lowe.
Hello, giggling as usual. Hello.
It's another TSFP scouting report talking today about Dani Ceballos. Now, he's in action at the moment at the U21 European Championships with Spain. Scored an absolute golazo in their first game, their defeat to Italy. He has spoken already this summer about his future. Heard him on the radio. He was saying, look, I'm going to decide my future after the Euros. Then you'll know what's going to happen. We know that he sat down with Zidane, just like every Real Madrid player, at the end of the season, and they spoke about their future. Now, Ceballos came out last night and denied some comments that had been attributed to him that weren't particularly flattering. What do we think, Sid? What kind of club would suit him, and where would he like to go?
It wouldn't be the first time, by the way, that Ceballos had said something that wasn't particularly flattering and didn't do him any favours, and he's had to kind of backtrack from it. I mean, to talk about the kind of player he is, he scores that brilliant goal against Italy. The Italian manager after the game basically said, our tactic was not to allow Ceballos to play. He was doing us so much damage in the middle.
Is that why they kept kicking him?
Well, they basically did. I mean, I don't often buy the kind of the laments of the beaten team in terms of, excuse me, in terms of saying, oh, well, they kicked us, they were really dirty. But they were. I mean, and they went for him, and they closed him off. They put 2 or 3 players around him. They tried, and it was purely focused on one player. Because when he's good, he's absolutely brilliant. The technique is brilliant. The vision is good. He's one of those midfielders who can carry the game as well as just pass the ball. He moves it very, very quickly, very, very swift in possession. Occasionally, maybe, he's a little erratic. But he is the player that anyone who wants a midfielder who can play, who can get the ball down, who can make things happen, who can shoot a bit, although that goal was a little bit out of character, not so much from the distance, because the distance is about right around the kind of 5 or 6 yards outside the area, but he tends to be a placer rather than a belter, and this was a proper belter. I think he's a really, really good player. The problem is, of course, you've got to deal with Real Madrid.
It feels a bit like to judge him on his time at Real Madrid is a bit unfair,
yes,
because
absolutely.
he's never played with enough consistency to really be able to decide quite how good he is or he's going to be.
And I think at occasions when he's played for Real Madrid, he thought, yeah, he really is good. I mean, let's not forget that, admittedly, Barcelona kind of jumped in late, but Barcelona and Madrid were battling it out to sign him. Zidane wasn't entirely convinced. Zidane wasn't sure about him. One or two others have not been sure either. You know, obviously Lopetegui, and I think Lopetegui actually probably would have played him more had he continued. Solari less so. I think there is a sense that people don't always get through to him. That maybe he doesn't always have that level of responsibility that they sometimes want. But I actually think that's short-sighted at times to say, oh yeah, but he's not reliable. Well, yeah, but I mean, the guy that reliably plays rubbish passes all the time is not as good as Ceballos.
In terms of potential destinations, they've talked in the past about a return to Real Betis. That was maybe more when Etienne was in charge, and they had a very good relationship.
And in a way, that tells you what kind of player he is. Etienne wanted this guy who's great on the ball, who's really, really technically gifted. Also, of course, it would be a level down for Ceballos. But as you said before, Ceballos says he's going to decide his future. In part, he's not deciding his future. You know, he would decide to stay at Real Madrid if he possibly could.
If he thought he was going to play.
Exactly, but there isn't really a future there. And so then you go, okay, well, what kind of clubs? Well, we always talk about English clubs, partly because of the economic power that they've got. But it would have to be a club that is prepared to let him play and prepared to have a midfield that allows him to do his thing and maybe doesn't expect him to do some of the defensive work.
And it would be another one of these Andalusians going over to the Premier League, and there is a there are some precedents for players from the south of Spain who go over there and don't necessarily enjoy themselves.
There is an element of that, of course. And I wonder as well, as if he went to England, would you be likely to see an English team play a 4-2-3-1 and he actually plays behind the strikers rather than deeper? I personally think he's better deeper. I personally think he's better running the game for you, but there might be a temptation, given his touch, given his technique, given his ability to play a filtered pass, to push him higher up the pitch. I'm not sure that's the best role for him, though.
This is the Spanish Football Podcast YouTube channel. Dani Ceballos is going to move this summer.
We think so.
Wait to see where he's going to go. Don't forget, all summer we are at patreon.com/TSFP with bonus podcasts, videos, paper reviews, and please subscribe, like, and comment below.
Yeah, do that.